ICE agents have been in Chicago doing work. They've been doing work, y'all, doing work in Chicago. But people aren't happy about it. I don't really understand it because, like I've said this before, my stance is: you do the crime, you got to take the punishment. Some people feel like crime of coming to the country illegally isn't worth enough to be punished for it. That's where I disagree. But everybody has the right to their own opinion. Everybody has a right to your own opinion. So if you disagree with anything I say, like I always say, please let me know so we can have a debate about it and discussion, a civilized discussion. That is what the world needs, is civilized discussions. But let's get right over into it. We got a few videos to look at. I believe 3 videos. I'm over here doing everything out of order. 3 videos to look at. And looks like they ended up shooting a woman. So this first video, they looked like shooting a woman who was trying to ram into the DHS vehicle. So let's get over into this. And we got to hear what the Mayor Johnson has to say about it. So let's get into it.
Let's begin this morning with rising tensions over the Trump administration's escalating immigration raids and plans to send federal troops into cities across the country. On Saturday, protesters took to the streets in Portland, Oregon in an anti-ICE protest. Federal agents using tear gas and mace to stop them. It comes as a federal judge overnight temporarily blocked President Trump from sending 200 National Guard troops to Portland. The judge, a Trump appointee, writing that the president's attempt to federalize the National Guard violates the state of Oregon's right to control its troops. NBC's Maggie Vespa is in Chicago, where the president says he will send the National Guard after a tense scene on Saturday involving protesters and ICE agents. Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Willie, good morning. Yeah, I'll start with that latest flashpoint here in Chicago, and that's protests at this intersection behind me following a shooting here yesterday morning. We have video of the protests. You can see a crowd of close to 100 people facing off with federal officers there. At one point, officers deploying some sort of gas. You can see it there. It was irritating the noses and throats of everyone in the crowd. And then we have new cell phone video showing multiple arrests and someone at one point being loaded into an ambulance. It's unclear what exactly preceded that. But suffice it to say, these protests erupted after DHS confirms a Border Patrol.
We got to back up. You see, what was that sign? Let's go back to that sign.
And someone at one point being loaded into an ambulance. It's unclear what exactly preceded that. But suffice it to say, these protests.
So as you see, ICE quit your job. I mean, like I said, I don't understand why they're against ICE. Is it just because they're going after, they're doing their job and going after illegal immigrants? Or do you feel like it's fine for illegal immigrants to be in the country? Like, I'm fine with immigration, I'm fine with everything, but I think laws should be followed. Is the process hectic? Yes, we need to do better with the process of letting people become legalized citizens. But you got to follow the process. The process is the process. Absolutely crazy. Let's keep going.
Erupted after DHS confirms a Border Patrol officer or officers shot, they say, a woman who they tell us was in one of 10 cars that, quote, attacked and rammed a Border Patrol vehicle on patrol. Now, DHS says that woman, a U.S. citizen known to law enforcement, had a semi-automatic weapon and that officers shot her yesterday morning in self-defense, adding she was able to drive herself to the hospital. It's worth noting advocates on the ground blasting that account, telling me there were only 2 civilian cars, not 10, and that Border Patrol officers were the aggressors, not the other way around. Now, as that protest was playing out yesterday, Governor J.B. Pritzker issuing a statement blasting President Trump for plans to, he says, deploy 300 Illinois National Guard members to Chicago amid mounting protests over escalating immigration raids here, including one recent raid where the governor's office says sleeping children were dragged from their beds in a Chicago apartment complex. No word from the White House on these potential plans here in Chicago, according to the governor's office. And at this point, no telling whether that judge's thwarting of similar plans in Portland changes anything on the ground here. Of course, time will tell. Willie.
Ugly scenes in the street there. Maggie Vespa starting us off in Chicago this morning. Maggie, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show.
Pulling sleeping kids out of their beds, I don't know if that's true or not, but that does sound crazy. That does sound crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But we don't know the full story yet. Just like we don't know the full story about the ICE agents. If they how the woman was shot. We gotta wait until we get more evidence about it, about exactly what happened. You can't just run with one side of the story. You gotta get all the evidence. But I mean, I stand what I say. I don't see a problem with ICE doing the job what they were created to do, is to take out illegal immigrants, to get them out of the country, deport them. I don't understand the problem with that. If they prove that they are illegal and they take them out, then I mean, let me know if you disagree with that, but it just sounds reasonable to me. Let's keep going. Let's go into this next video.
Meanwhile, in Chicago, sources telling Fox News police there were told to actually stand down on helping ICE agents who are in danger. Mike Tobin has this story for us, all the details. Hi, Mike.
And Dana, we've got a lot of rank and file Chicago police officers behind the scenes telling us that they are outraged that the stand down order went out to them after federal agents were attacked. The order appears to have come through a communication from the chief of patrol over the communication through the Office of Emergency Management and Communication, reading, "No units will respond to this." Multiple police sources have confirmed to us the message is authentic and it is backed up by audio of the stand down order.
And again, per the Chief of Patrol, we have all the units that for 999, Chief of Patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location. All right, and 999, just to confirm, 39th Police in Kedzie, they were saying that they were being surrounded by that large crowd, and they were requesting the police were not sending. I'm waving off all the cars heading to 39th Police in Kedzie.
And those are the orders we're being given.
In an official statement, CPD says officers did respond. Writing quote, CPD responded to the scene to document the incident. CPD officers were also on the scene to maintain safety and traffic control. Now, chaos was triggered when, according to federal prosecutors, two individuals used their cars to ram the cars of Border Patrol agents. One of the agents shot a driver of one attacking vehicle. Those attackers are now charged federally. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says the facts need to play out.
We don't have a lot of facts. Remember, these are the same folks who killed a person, unarmed person, just a couple of weeks ago in Franklin Park. At first, they said that the officer had been threatened with his life. The reality of it and the truth of it has now come out, and that wasn't the case. They killed somebody. They are just putting out their propaganda, and then we've got to later determine what actually happened.
300 Illinois National Guardsmen have now been called up for a 2-month deployment to Chicago. What you're looking at right now is video of the scene that triggered that particular radio call. Tear gas and pepper balls were deployed into the crowd after agents said they were attacked. But meantime, as I just mentioned, 300 Illinois National Guardsmen have been called up for a 2-month deployment to Chicago to protect federal personnel and property. Also, Texas National Guardsmen, 400 of them, have been called up for deployment to both Illinois, to Portland, and an undetermined location. Back to you, Dana.
All right, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the...
Absolutely crazy. See, I didn't know about the Franklin Park thing. So I was just looking. It looks like there's conflicting evidence reports from multiple news outlets, including NBC, revealed discrepancies in the official accounts. Body cam footage from local police show the ICE agent describing his injuries as nothing major shortly after the shooting. Surveillance footage indicates the agent fired 2 shots and did not support the claim that the agent was dragged for a significant distance. DHS initial claim that the was a criminal illegal alien, which was contradicted by his lawyer and subsequent NBC News reports, which stated he had no criminal history. The fatal shooting promoted a group of Democratic lawmakers to call in for an investigation. So yeah, they're investigating that right now. If he did something wrong, no matter if you're ICE or not, you gotta do the crime. You got to do the time if you do the crime. Hey, there's no else, but it doesn't. I don't think that takes away from the job that ICE is trying to do. There's always bad actors in every single position. No matter if it's a doctor, no matter if it's a lawyer, there's always bad actor, police officers. There's always can be bad actors, people who don't follow what they're supposed to do. But absolutely crazy. Let's go over to this next section where we hear what Mayor Johnson have to do. I still don't understand why he loves that. Why he loves that mohawk or the faux hawk. Let's get into it though.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm looking at this sign here. What will happen if federal agents show up and say, not too bad? I mean, are the Chicago police going to enforce the sign?
So if they are in violation, that's why we have our Department of Law. We are using every single tool that's available to us, and that includes the legal and the justice system. What we have seen that everything that this president has promulgated, whether it's his illegal taxes that have been deemed illegal, or whether it's the fact that we already seen a judge that he appointed said that he overreached when he tried to federalize troops to send them to Mayor Wilson in Portland. And so we will use the reason why we have this in place so that if the federal government does violate, we do now have a precedent that we can establish to hold them accountable.
Right.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
Obviously, Chicago police are responsible for enforcing laws in the city. Are they going to be responsible for enforcing these ICE-free zones?
As I said before, it's not just policing. It also includes our Department of Law. If someone is in violation of the law, we'll take them to court.
But will it also include police? Like for
Everyone
the private
is
businesses?
responsible. For the private businesses, I'm encouraging many of them to volunteer to be a part of this collective action. Here's what's most important here. We know that this president is not interested in adhering to the law. So we're going to give him something to hold him accountable. And if he violates the law in the city of Chicago, we would do just that, hold him accountable.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
I know you're going to.
Okay, so that whole video was about them setting up the no ICE zones, places where ICE can't go based on his executive order. I believe that's what his stuff is called. But I don't. She asked a good question. Will police, if they break the law, that's the city law? First of all, I don't know if they are even inherent to the city law when it says ICE can't go to a certain place. I don't know about all that. But will the police step in to like stop them? I highly doubt it. They're probably going to make a note of it and then send it to the lawyers to sue somebody or to send it to a judge. I highly doubt that because that's how he was said. He said he tried to avoid even the whole thing. He was like, it's not just police. It's the judicial system. It's the law system that is going to take action. And then he asked the business owners to help step in. What are the business owners supposed to do? Like block federal agents from coming in? I wonder if they're going to pay the legal fees when they get arrested. I highly doubt it. But hey, they might. But let me know your thoughts on that, everybody. Like I said, there are some bad characters. Some bad characters who take their job and go overboard with it. But the whole mission of ICE is to find and deport illegal immigrants. At least that's my understanding of it. But is it wrong for them to do that? Is that why everybody's upset right now? Is it they feel like that ICE shouldn't be doing that? Just because of that some of the people they're bringing is people who are just doing the job? There are people who are illegal immigrants who are just doing their job. They're not committing any crimes. Or they're not committing current crimes. Might not be paying any taxes or anything. I don't know how that works, but the initial crime of coming into the country illegally, that's what they did. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, I mean, if someone does a crime, they got to do the time, no matter if they're caught now, no matter if they're caught later. There's no statute of limitations on that type of crime. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Maybe let me know if I'm not understanding something properly. Let's have a debate about this. Let's talk about this. Maybe you feel that anytime they're doing stuff like this is wrong. Maybe you feel like that they're circumventing. I might be saying that wrong. Circumventing the city government, the city council, whoever, the mayor and all them. Maybe they're good. You feel like that they're overstepping. Like I said, I don't see any problem with them doing their job. I don't see any problem with them doing their job when they go overboard. And just like some people say that the Franklin, the person who was killed in Franklin, they might have went overboard. We got to wait till more evidence to come out, but there's a lot of things to think about. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. And remember, let me know if you disagree with anything I said. All right, everybody, remember this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like and subscribe.